Maryland sports fans, there's only one sports book in the great state of Maryland with over 50 years experience booking bets and supporting customers. Betfred Sportsbook at Longshots is now open and is the only sportsbook in Frederick offering cash betting on football, basketball, world soccer, and more. Visit the Betfred Sportsbook at I-270 and MD-85 in Frederick, right next to Longshots off-track betting. Go to betfredsports.com for more information and your chance to win exclusive merchandise. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, so let's think. Wait a minute.
And we're back.
Yeah, I know. You know, I was in I'm going to just keep mentioning being overseas until I wear it out.
And by the way, this is us. This is Immletyoufinish. Welcome to the podcast.
Oh yeah, it's Immletyoufinish
with Amy and Black
the
Oprah,
award-winning, the Pulitzer Prize-winning,
aka Courtney.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in London, I was invited and was thrilled to do an episode of Rock's Back Pages podcast. And Rock's Back Pages,
shout out to those guys. They're great.
Oh, totally cool. Mark Pringle, Barney Hoskins, the coolest, the hardest working men in showbiz, easily. So I unlike Courtney I do not go into a cringe Jennifer Lopez panic when I hear my voice, because I did TV for a while and I've been a writer, so I'm used to hearing my voice on tape. But
I mean, I was just like, who's that gay guy with Amy in the podcast? Oh, that's me.
But I'm rarely interviewed.
Right.
I'm usually doing something like this where I'm talking or I'm interviewing somebody. So when I did the Rock's Back Pages podcast, which I highly recommend you listen to because it's high fucking hilarious, I'm listening to it and every time. And okay, and Jesus Christ, why don't you just put the map of New York City on my face and be done with it? It was horrifying. So luckily when I do this, I'm more in control and I don't say and every 2 seconds. But
you got self-control like Laura Brown again.
Oh my fucking God. I don't even know where to go with that. Courtney going for the second single off the third album.
The second single off the third album, the legendary Self-Control.
Oh my God. Anyways.
So it's summer, we figured, let's talk about some TV. And not just The View, because of all my friends, I'm the only one who likes Meghan McCain.
Yeah, I wanted to, okay, I'm going to tell you, this is a true story. We were supposed to start taping. We were going to tape something, and we had to be at a certain place at a certain time. And I budgeted into my time getting here, watching the first 15 minutes of The View, because I want to have a new segment. What stupid shit did Meghan McCain say today? But shockingly, when discussing the president calling 4 women of color, telling them to go back to their own country, even Meghan McCain was against that. But of course, because it is Meghan McCain, she managed to make it about herself by mentioning the fact that she has a sister who is of color.
Yes.
And also managing to make it in her martyr complex. I know I'll take a lot of heat for this. I know I'm the only Republican willing to say this. I know they're telling me in my IFB to stop talking, and it's like, bitch, ain't nobody telling you to do shit. Well, anyway, but she didn't say anything stupid today. But the thing is, I watched The View at this point to see what kind of stupid shit she's going to say.
I'm obsessed with Meghan McCain.
She's a cow.
Oh my God.
She's
Amy.
A cow. I'm not talking about what she looks like. I'm talking about mentally a cow.
I know, but still.
She's a mental cow.
But here's the thing. That's a bad thing to call somebody, because I didn't realize how much of an insult it was until one time my mother and I were going back and forth. I was like, you are really being a cow. Baby, you would have thought.
All right, what animal should I call her?
Yeah, I don't even know. She hung up on me and would not talk to me for a week because I said she's a cow.
Cows are cute.
That's what I thought. But evidently, people don't like being called a cow. I don't know why I'm upset.
Fine. She's a fucking aardvark.
You know what's the weird thing about her? We don't, politically, we're not aligned. But when I hear her talk about some things, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not. But listen, and then I'll see her with Joy, who's completely a Democrat, And she yells back too and says crazy shit that doesn't make sense. So they all do.
No, but
know?
the thing with Meghan McCain is that Meghan McCain is the female version of Rudy Giuliani in that she manages to insert the name of her father into any conversation the way that Rudy Giuliani used to do with 9/11.
Right.
Joe Biden once said that Rudy Giuliani literally every sentence begins with a noun, a verb, and 9/11. Okay, Meghan McCain, and God rest her father.
Honey, if you tuned in for the shade, welcome to I'm gonna let you finish. It's dripping
well, it's hot
today.
Out. We need
it's
shade,
dripping
okay?
today.
All right, and Meghan McCain literally is a noun and a verb, and my father.
I don't know why I like her. It's such a weird thing.
And she's also one of those, I have gay friends. Okay.
I don't know what it is about her I like. I
know.
think I like that sometimes she has really big hair, and I love big hair. And I like when she has like the big hair with the curls in it, so that makes me like her that day. Because I'm like, oh, look at her hair. It's really cute.
Anyway, politically, I find her to be appalling.
Well, as you can see, we're talking about TV and what we watch.
We're talking about TV.
And I watch The View every day. I'm one of those people working in the background.
Hey,
Views
I
on every day.
auditioned for The View.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
The original go round?
The original go
Did you have to do like a TV
back in the 90s when I was a basic cable star, when I was on VH1. Shout out to Four on the Floor. When they were looking for a new young one. Hey, that's what when they were looking for a new young one. That's how long ago it was. I was to be considered the young one, and they brought me in for an audition. Nothing happened, obviously, but I was brought in for an audition.
With Barbara Walters?
Well, I mean, no, they just met with me. I didn't get to
you
actually
you didn't
meet
do
him. No, God, are you kidding? I would have lost my fucking mind. Are you kidding? No, just back then. But anyway, so when I was overseas, I was like, I wonder how my cat is. I wonder how my family is. What am I missing on television?
Right.
Because the greatest thing about the digital age is that you can just catch up on television. Because I was really concerned.
Right.
I mean, I was concerned about three things when I was overseas. One, that Trump was going to declare war on a country that I was in close proximity to, and I'd have to figure out how to get my monkey ass back home.
Yeah.
Two, something I'm sure involving death in my family or something like that. And three, that I wouldn't be able to catch up on my television.
Right.
That I wouldn't be able to catch up on my television.
Which is such a thing of the past. Nobody ever worries about that anymore,
no,
right?
No,
because everything is like, oh, you missed it? Here it is online.
Yeah, you can watch it on your phone now.
Absolutely.
Like, who cares? It's crazy. All right, so the three shows, our favorite summer shows are what? Well, let's talk about Pose first.
Let's talk about Pose.
Because you're gay.
Yeah. What do you think about this season?
You're gay.
I am, especially on Tuesdays. It's like Taco Tuesday.
Is that when it's on? I don't even know when these shows are on.
It's on Tuesdays, actually.
Okay, all right, good.
It's on Tuesdays.
Okay. All right, so
it's like
Pose.
Taco Tuesday, Dick, and Pose. Yeah, that's what happens on Tuesday.
All right, so Pose. All right, so when it first started, I have never been a knee-jerk Ryan Murphy fan. I used to watch Nip Tuck.
Right.
And then it got stupid. I never watched American Horror Story because it's got the word horror in it. And I'm easily scared.
Yeah, I've watched Horror Story. There are a couple of seasons I didn't like, so I skipped through them. But I'm going to watch this new season of American Horror Story because Angelica Ross, who plays the very fabulous Candy on Pose, has now been cast as a series regular on Ryan Murphy's American Horror Story 1984, which has a 80s slasher film theme this season.
Oh, okay. I still won't watch it
so
because it's scary.
Shout out to Angelica. Shout out to her portrayal as Candy. Shout out to this last episode that aired that was really Candy-centric, in case you guys haven't seen it.
Well, it's Candy-centric because she did.
Yeah, but I really felt like it was done right, and I loved how she got to have all of those moments with people, including the parents, and then her big lip sync send off in the ballroom. I thought it was done really, really well. My
only issue, when I first started watching Pose, it took me about 2 or 3 episodes, I think, before it really gelled. Right. Sometimes, look, what Pose is trying to do and what it is usually succeeding in doing is fucking revolutionary.
Yes.
Okay? I mean, we use that term so much, but this is revolutionary because we have never seen television starring people like that. We're never going to see it, and we're never going to see it again.
Because when we talk about, you ever see any shows about the gay community, it's always a group of either, like the L Word, right? Lesbians in LA, or Queer as Folk, and all of these shows where it's always about a group of white gay friends who might have one black gay friend.
Right.
You're never talking about the experience of being young, queer kids of color in New York, and trans kids
also never
of color,
it's
of color, which is what is really important
And
to say.
I will give
Very
it to the
underrepresented.
3 non of color men who have done this show, that they have handed a majority of the work over to trans women of color.
Yes.
To do this. My only problem with Pose, it's like a 2-pronged problem. Sometimes the episodes go too long.
You said that to me before.
Sometimes they go a little too long. I have the attention span of a gnat.
But I always say that that's a writing thing, because if something's written really well, you won't even pay attention to the time.
Well,
it
then
goes
that's
really
the thing.
fast.
And sometimes, but though it's gotten less and less, sometimes it feels like they're giving gay 101 lessons.
Well, this is what I think they're doing, because first of all, I'm enjoying the season, but I loved the first season. But the first season, the ratings were terrible. People really didn't support it the way I thought they did. And I'm very glad that they got a second season. And I think with a lot of shows...
They've already been picked up
for a third. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But I think with a lot of shows, the second season can get a little weird. And they tried to do something to really get a broader audience. And they have.
Yeah.
And I think the third season... coming back with that audience that you've built in.
Will also be interesting
will
with
be
where
great
they
back to the story.
timeline
Yeah,
put the third
absolutely,
season.
right.
You know, I mean, there are things going on in Pose that I think are crucial. I mean, when I deal with a lot of the young people, and they have, I mean, all joking aside, they have no idea, and it's good that they don't know that AIDS was always, back in the day, was a death sentence.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
But it's also a bad thing because, you know, they have no context of, you know, they think AIDS is done. It's like you pop a pill and it's done.
to them, it's taking a pill.
It's a chronic.
It's a chronic
illness.
And in a lot of ways, you know, that's the strides we've made, right? And it is.
No, it is.
And I don't want those kids. I want them to be safe and to be careful, but I don't want them to have the worries like I did with my friends who. I would have a friend go into the hospital on Friday and would be dead by Monday.
No, I wouldn't wish that.
I don't want that era to ever return.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody either. But the thing is,
but I like that the story is being told like that now.
Well,
and you're
they need to know, but
yeah.
people need to
know the
stuff.
history of it all.
They need to know story of
Absolutely.
a plague, and they
Yes.
need to know this stuff because it's sort of like you can't. It's almost like Holocaust deniers in a way. You can't understand, or slavery deniers.
Right.
You have to, just because things are good now, you have to understand what things were like
and where it came from,
and
understand
how it can come back.
Easily we can swing right back to that
Right.
because we're not 10 steps ahead of that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
And especially
we're like 2 steps ahead.
And especially as funding for things. I mean,
Yeah.
the Pose that it's coming out now. This is a show actually that only makes sense during the Trump administration because there's so much vitriol now being directed at people of color, at cisgendered women. That's the term I learned how to use that term.
And trans women of color who
Right.
are still being murdered at a very high, alarming rate.
So this is a show that needs for right now, and Billy Porter is doing legacy work on this. The actor who plays Angel, what is her name?
India Moore.
India Moore, fantastic.
Yeah, and MJ Rodriguez who plays Blanca.
Right. I mean, there are some of the
and Dominique, everybody.
Some of the plots are like a little like eye rolling, but it's not a documentary.
And it's also for young people.
Yeah, it's not a documentary. All right, it's not.
It's entertainment television, and I'm glad that it's there.
And it's like I said, some of it's a little eye rolling. All right, so Pose, we're totally into Pose. All right, I'm gonna now give my impassioned speech about Jane the Virgin.
I don't watch that shit.
Okay, Jane the Virgin. I used to be like, okay, I'm gonna tell you something. If you watch it, you would love it.
You keep saying that.
You would love it. I never watched it because it was on the CW, and I'm like, I am over the age of 30. Why would I watch anything on the CW?
Right.
And then I would always read these reviews about it and stories about it, and then it won like a Peabody Award. Jane the Virgin, it's in its last season, but Jane the Virgin may be one of the funniest, most politically astute. It's embracing of all cultures. A lot of the show is done in Spanish. It's very self-aware. It's a telenovela about a telenovela. And it's ending this year. I'm very sad. I love it. The acting's great. It's funny. There have been some... Brooke Shields is on it this year, and she's killing. Mrs. Cory Booker was on it for a while.
Oh, that one. It's like, okay.
Yeah, anyway, I'm just saying. But it's a really good show. You're never going to see this many
Is the show about a virgin?
It's about, Jane is the gist of the show, and this is the telenovela part. Jane is going to a gynecologist. It's a long time ago, but she's going to a gynecologist appointment, and her doctor accidentally artificially inseminates her with the sperm of her brother, not Jane's brother. So she ends up having a baby. But
without ever having sex.
Without it. So she is technically a virgin, and then she's actually married to somebody else, and then she gets involved with the guy who's baby, and then there's intrigue, and there's murders, and there's all sorts of crazy shit.
Did she ever finally end up having sex?
Yes, she ends up marrying her boyfriend, who then is killed, but is he? Because it's a telenovela. Gotcha. So people will just sort of pop up, and it's very, very funny, and there's a voiceover, and there's a lot of anti-Trump jokes, too. So anyway, so I love Jane the Virgin, and I'm watching it. It's ending this year, and I'm very sad. It's its last season. All right, Big Little Lies.
Baby, let me just tell you something.
First off, Meryl Streep's mouth, her mouth deserves... Can they give an award for...
Let's just talk about Big Little Lies. Nobody else but Meryl Streep.
Just Meryl Streep.
The acting on Meryl Streep,
even when she's not talking,
facial expression,
no, she didn't
the
say
flick of her shoulder,
how many
the turn of her
words
head.
Did she say in last night's episode? Like 3.
Right.
3. It was just a lot of this. A lot of eyes up, eyes
the mouth,
down,
the turn of the head,
the turn of the head, everything. The shoulder. I think she may have said 3 lines.
It's just Meryl Streep is a masterclass.
No, she's a masterclass.
But you know who else is a masterclass on this show? Laura Dern is giving me. First of all, Laura Dern is always great.
Laura Dern is
people
always
need to.
great.
She's
people need to go back and watch Enlightened.
Yeah, she as Renata is just. I'm like, give it to me.
I want to be Laura. I want in my mind. I want to look like Laura Dern.
And she has the best wardrobe on the show.
The best.
She has the best wardrobe.
No, her clothes are the fucking best. Someone
the best.
pointed out the best part about that show is how she consistently mispronounces Reese Witherspoon's character's name. Everyone else calls her Madeline,
right?
And she calls her Madeline. Like that her character is so unhinged that she doesn't even care, that nobody even wants to correct her that she's mispronouncing her name.
I mean, the scene of her
stuffing the tissues in her husband's mouth.
Or last night when they're in the bankruptcy court and the young lady stands up. At first she's like, yes, I'm owed the $72,000. She's giving him out like, yes, she should. And then the 160, and she's looking like the 164. And he's just like, what? And she's like,
stress management.
And the look that she gave when the judge turns over, looks at her and him, I'm like, these are the kids who are showing you we are old school Hollywood actors. No, she gave you you see her face change from one thing to another. She was
married to Ben Harper?
Yes, for years.
I know, right?
For years they were together, and they have 2 kids.
I know. I bet they're cute.
And then at first he filed for divorce unexpectedly. Then they kind of patched it back up together. Then again in 2015
the woman
they broke up.
That Angelina Jolie swiped Billy Bob from.
That was her man. They lived together. He went to make a movie and never came home.
Motherfucker. Though Billy Bob could get it if he... I mean, Billy Bob...
Oh, God. Amy. He looks like an unwashed toilet. It's like how...
There's something hot... You know, the French have a word for ugly hot.
No, listen, you know I love ugly hot. I told you,
like Mark Anthony is ugly hot.
Stormzy is ugly hot.
I told you, Stormzy's ugly hot. Billy Bob is ugly hot.
No, Billy Bob just looks like an unflushed
I'm sorry. I could right now, if I had my phone on me, which I don't, I could call 5 women I know, some of whom are African American,
and they're all single because they think he's hot. That's why. So
wrong.
Call your single friends and be like, let's talk about how hot Billy Bob Thornton. And I could call 5 homosexuals right now, be like Billy Bob Thornton. They'll be like, what? Bitch, get off my phone.
There's something about him. I can't. I mean, I would never because ew. But there's something about him. But anyway, so Big Little Lies. All right. So here's my thing. Mm-hmm. It's ending next week.
Yes, it is.
So we don't know. But I will say this: if I see one more fucking flashback with water and drowning, I'm going to scream.
Or Bonnie just moping around. I'm like, how did they not know Bonnie did it? She's been acting like she's done it since episode 1.
Here's the other thing, too. Now, I mean, I read all the recaps. I love reading recaps of the shows. Here's the thing, and I know it's television and it's fiction and we're not supposed to use logic, but in theory, what they did was self-defense.
No.
She was attacking.
Yes, except when she
Perry was attacking somebody, and somebody pushed him to. So, in theory, they could have gotten away with self-defense.
They actually could have said, So, it is a little weird how
they're acting like they gunned this guy
right.
down. And,
but listen, when you're trying to create a story to keep a show going, it's based off of one book. You got to be like,
and also,
we have to cover the lie.
Last night, no judge would have let it gone that level of slut shaming.
Right.
That was a level of slut shaming.
Yeah.
Or that actor that played Meryl Streep's lawyer. He lives in my neighborhood. He's very nice. I see him in the store a lot. He's super cool.
Oh.
Just saying.
I love that Meryl Streep is playing a character named Mary Louise, which is her real name.
I know. You didn't tell me that.
I live for the fact that she's playing Mary Louise.
No, but she's amazing in this. She's like
It's like just when pull up the Emmy truck, pull up the Golden Globe truck, pull up the SAG Awards truck, because she's getting them all.
Well, somebody said something. I read something really funny. They said the Nicole Kidman's character Celeste is a lawyer, and what's going to happen is she is now requested to cross-examine.
I like that because you're finally seeing her step up into her Celeste-ness.
No, but what someone said though, this is great. They said in the real world, she would never be allowed to do that. They would probably, but they said, but Nicole Kidman, as an executive producer, said, "Oh no, I want a one-on-one with Meryl Streep. Are you kidding me? This is the human highlight reel
and this is about to be the last episode, so like bring it on, let it rip."
All right, I find the Zoe Kravitz character
annoying as fuck.
The Zoe Kravitz character,
and I love her, but this moping around sad Bonnie, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
It's like, and you don't love your husband,
that shit was fierce when she was telling her mother all of that shit, thinking her mother's dying, and the tear rolls down her eyes because she can hear everything she's saying, and she's like, when I pushed him, I was pushing you. I married a man that I don't. And I was like, ooh, here we go. All right, give me some juice with her, something.
You know what? There's not enough this season, though. Well, this was something I stole from a website. I'm going to say that. And then something I feel. All right, one thing there isn't enough of this season is the house porn. The location porn. Oh, yeah, because that location porn the first season was
beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And the thing is that's missing from this season is the intercutting with all the people in the town and the school talking about it. I like that because it added like a nice trashy element to it.
And we needed more of that hot black teacher. Like I feel like we got
a couple. He was hot. The man, really?
The hot black teacher. Yes.
You talking about the guy that was trying to teach them about global warming to the 7-year-olds?
Yeah, he's hot. Okay, this is the chick who just sat here and said, let me just tell you something. Billy Bob Thornton makes my titties ache.
No, I didn't say
it's like, that's why you're not having sex. You say titty and you revert to being a 10-year-old at summer camp.
I'm a 10-year-old at summer camp.
We need to get you. First of all, I'm going to help Amy find a man this summer because Amy's still hot and she's smart and she needs any of you smart, I need you to be, please be heterosexual. That will work.
Yeah, please. Please.
We got a lady here. She's smart. She has a penthouse with big outdoor space and unobstructed views in Brooklyn, motherfuckers, that she owns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, where are y'all?
I don't have a Fendi bag, but I do have the bad attitude, though.
You know what I'm saying?
I do have the bad attitude. What other television are we watching?
I'm watching Claws. I don't know if you watch Claws.
I have never watched Claws.
I love Claws.
There's too much television, though. Can we just say that?
The funny thing is, right, everybody got rid of cable. Like, I haven't had cable in 3 years.
How do you watch TV, then?
Well, I have an Apple TV, and I have a Roku, and I have all of the channels. And
so you have to pay for each one individually?
Well, no. The thing is, like everybody else, I kind of have two different logins. One that was created for me with my sister.
We'll have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling we're in illegal territory. I used to have a jailbroken Amazon Fire Stick, and then they figured that part out. Yeah.
They still sell them in my barbershop.
Yeah, well, they figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but every time they figure that one out, there's a criminal who comes along like, here's the new one.
The nutcrackers of television.
Oh my God, the nutcracker! I love a nutcracker.
I didn't know what a nutcracker was until like 3 years ago.
We still don't know what's actually in the nutcracker.
But I feel embarrassed. Yeah. I feel as someone who has their finger on the pulse of urban America, I should have known what a fucking nutcracker was.
Well, you know what? Because your neighborhood is, how do we say in French, white now.
Yeah.
They're not really walking up and down the street selling them.
Like,
I'm in Harlem where every street festival, everything you can find them coming through the barbershop.
But
even though they were selling a lot of them at Soul Summit, which was the music was amazing and the energy was great, but overcrowded.
Was
and
that
crazy.
another situation where you were 2 blocks from my house and you didn't call me?
You know, it's like
It's
I don't
okay,
understand
Courtney.
the question.
It's okay.
First of all, I kind of went kicking and screaming because I don't really like crowds anymore.
No, I don't
and it
like-
used to be such a great, sexy party.
It was a great
But now
party.
it's like the thing.
It's
there's
the Black Coachella
and
now.
it's so many people. Like
Yeah, I
we
can't
got
deal.
there.
Soul Summit,
yeah.
for those of you, this has nothing to do with television,
Right.
but Soul Summit is
Is it
a
yeah.
long-standing free house music party that they've been having in Brooklyn since 2003.
And it's amazing.
And it used to be in
sexy
now,
and
it used to be in this little park in Fort Greene, and then the neighborhood got mad and kicked everybody out, and then it resurrected itself in Fort Greene Park, and the neighborhood got mad, and it used to be every week, and then it was once in a while, and now it's like the Parks Department sponsored, but it's like a fucking place to be seen. So Miss Linden, because I'm just that girl, and like, I'm not going because it's played out. But the music is always good.
The music is amazing, but like everything in
It's
New
too
York,
crowded.
everything in New York, if there's something good and it's free, it catches on, then it becomes a thing, and everybody and their
Plus,
mother
too many
shows
people
up.
show up who don't know how to dance.
And now it's like it's not even just about dancing because
about
everybody
showing
comes
up.
and you set up your picnic, and that's what it's supposed to be, right? But when it gets so overrun,
It's really crowded.
and it's at the top of the hill, so it's so crowded
Yeah.
that you end up like on the slope of the hill, and
Yeah.
so many people. That just changes
That's
the
how
vibe and
desperate
energy.
New Yorkers,
Yeah.
we're just desperate to like escape. We
Be-
need some all right,
because
so
we
anyway,
pay so
Claude,
much fucking money to live
live
here
here,
that
I
you're
know.
like, where's the free shit?
Where's the free
Where's
shit?
the
We
free
need the
shit?
free. All right, so Claus, explain.
Yeah,
that
it's
to
a
me.
great great show about these manicurists.
Oh, is that the one with Niecy
in-
Nash?
And I'm so happy for her to see her
She was
be
killing in,
the
the-
lead in a show
what is-
that's not a comedy, you know.
Well,
and
no, she was amazing in
Moving
When
On,
They See
what's
Us.
it called?
When They See Us.
yeah, oh, she was amazing in When They See Us. But and it's a
For
show on
anybody,
TNT.
by the way, listening to this, and of course, if you're listening to this, you're already like on the right side of things anyway. I mean, right meaning good. If you ever have any doubts in your mind about the roots of Donald Trump's racism, watch the documentary about the Central Park Five and watch Ava DuVernay's When They See Us. And that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah. So it's just one of those shows that it's a guilty summer pleasure. It's a summer
Okay,
show.
well, that's what summer shows should be.
And I'm watching Queen Sugar again. I did not like.
I've never seen that.
Oh,
Will I love it?
So good. Yes,
It's something I'll love.
Especially if you go back. Season 1 is amazing.
Okay.
I hated season 3, so I fell out of that. But to
Okay.
me, season 4 is back on track, and that's really good. Listen, I like good summer TV.
Yeah, yeah.
It's soap opera-y.
Okay,
and,
good.
And it's just good storytelling.
Okay.
And Greenleaf is coming back, I believe,
No
in
idea what that
August.
is.
That's another show that's on that I love.
Too much to.
And
I never watch them.
I'm so excited that Hard Knocks is coming back, and this year,
Oh my God, I've never heard of any of these shows.
Hard Knocks is a show that's come on HBO for years, where they follow a different football team throughout
Oh, I
their
don't care about
training
football.
camp.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
always so good. And this year,
Yeah.
the team is the Oakland Raiders, who just signed Antonio Brown and Richie Incognito, who just got suspended 2 games for some off-the-field shit.
See,
what could go wrong
this-
there with the camera following Antonio Brown
This
and
is the
Richie
part
Incognito?
where I pretend to know what he's talking about.
Yeah, you're like, I'm the one. I'm so funny. My friends they're like, we can't believe you like sports as much as you do. Because
I can believe it. I just don't like football very
So,
much.
no, but I just have a bunch of friends. They don't really give a shit about sports. And be like, what are you doing? I'm
I
like,
don't trust people. who
I'm the
don't
one
give
on
a shit.
draft day. I'm in front of that TV
I
all
know.
day, free agency. I'm
know.
watching the Jumps 9-hour telecast. I watch all of the drafts. I want to know where everybody's going. I love that shit.
Speaking of draft day, the next time we get together, we can talk about the next and must-see TV. We can talk about the next Democratic debates. And I told you this. And
My birthday, July 31st,
Oh,
is
sweet.
the
All right.
second
But
debate.
I said to you that they were having like a draft for who's going to be in the next debate, and you went, "Oh, that's ridiculous." No, it is not. That's what they're going to do. They have turned this thing. Fucking Trump has turned everything into reality show must see. We begin bombing in 5 minutes.
And the fact that everybody just falls into that shit. First of all, I need some of you people who know that you've got 1%, drop out of the fucking race and stop wasting
Well, some
time.
of them,
Now it's time to start getting to it.
Marianne Williamson, goodbye.
I need a bunch of
Tulsi,
you to
goodbye.
just
Go.
drop out
Go.
and let's get to the real deal people.
top 5. Let's go to
and,
top 5.
And cut the bullshit.
Go,
I
Elizabeth
also
Warren.
need the
Elizabeth
Democrats
Warren.
to stop doing what they always do. They eat their own,
Right.
and it hands everything to the Republicans who are
That's
sitting
true.
back
We
like,
have to be
we're
meaner.
like, oh, good, we're gonna let you guys. Oh, you're calling each other racist? We don't have to do anything.
No.
They're doing it for us.
I think it will all come together by the end. All right. Any other TV you're watching this summer? Anything else that I was
Sports
trying
Center. That's it.
Yeah, Sports Center. You know, yeah, I think my son.
Oh, and the great food truck race on the Food Network.
Oh my God, love it.
How gay is that, right? I'm sitting there like, oh my God, look, they have to make hamburgers by the beach.
I can't think of anything. I'm trying to think when I came back the things that I had to catch up on. So it was like I caught on Jane the Virgin, Pose, Big Little Lies, and that's about it. I have a very small brain. I can only take one HBO series at a time. Oh, you know what? I hate watch The Chi.
Yeah, I didn't get into it.
I
I tried
love
the first
kids.
season. I tried.
I love
and
the
I didn't,
kids. I love the
into it.
little kids on it. I think they're great. The guy that's the lead, the one from Jason Mitchell, so he's never going to work in television again. He's been fired. I just sort of hate watch it, but I watch it because I feel like it's good for the culture. And then I'm done with it. It isn't killing me. Anyway, we figured we'd throw a little TV stuff in there,
Yep.
just to show the depth. Because I've stopped reading. I was reading all year, and I haven't read a book in 3
Listen,
in 3
and we're
weeks.
excited for Robin. Robin. Our next recap will tell you about how the show was.
And when we got arrested by attacking her, and then when they dragged
just
us
all
off.
kind of crazy shit. So, it's almost time for me to get out of here, put my headphones on, and finish listening to Super Delicious by Megan Weiss, which is, Megan Weiss has this EP.
Who's Megan Weiss?
She's this Brooklyn-based pop artist, and
Very
she has
excited.
an EP out that I'm really enjoying, and she has the song called Super Delicious. I will
Okay.
send it to you. It's very
Not to
summer, and
Not
it makes
to be
me feel like a
confused with
balance.
Megan Thee Stallion, right?
I love her.
I know you do.
I love her. I love her.
Okay.
And I love what she stands for. And I love that she's still in school. I
Yeah.
love that she's being like, yo, you can
Yeah.
be educated. You can do this. You can be strong. You can have an opinion. And I like her rap style. I like it. What do you think about, and then we'll wrap this up. What do you think about Jermaine Dupri's
Yeah. No. What did
comment?
he say?
Basically saying, when they were asking him, what do you think about female rappers today? And he said,
First off,
and
who's
who's the
asking
best?
Jermaine Dupri anything?
Well, we're coming up on a big anniversary of So Def. And I have to say, I worked at Columbia for those So Def years when he was that young guy out of Atlanta,
Right.
and he made a lot of hit records.
No,
He
I
did
know.
his thing. So they were asking him about female
Yeah.
rappers and who's the best, and he said essentially, I don't hear anybody rapping to be the best. I hear everybody basically. There's like a bunch of strippers talking about, I dance at this club, I dance at this club, I dance at this club. Nobody's really saying anything, so I can't really judge on who's the best. Well, the ladies didn't appreciate that so much.
Well, I mean,
Starting with Miss Cardi B, then they all have responded.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting because, I do think that there are a lot of amazing female rappers out there that people are not paying attention
well,
to.
they never did. I mean, the fact that we always call it female rappers.
Right.
I mean,
right,
the fact
right.
that in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that only one woman rap artist name has ever even come up in conversation
Right.
be in the Rock and Roll Hall
And
of
which
Fame.
one was that, Latifah?
Latifah.
Right.
I mean,
Not even Missy. Has Missy even come up for a vote ever?
Missy's not eligible yet. She
Really?
yeah, it's 25 years since your first record. Unless
It
you're
hasn't
gonna
been
count
25
Sista.
years since the rain?
No, has it?
I mean,
Maybe. Well, the point is
Yeah.
that so Jermaine Dupri, whatever.
Right. He's
Yeah.
a talented guy.
Speaking of,
And a nice guy. I like Jermaine.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a really nice
He
person.
is a talented guy.
And he's a really nice person.
and that Trisha Brouillard record, what was that woman that he
Oh,
had?
Trina Broussard.
Oh, that was a great record.
That was a great record. She
Yeah.
can really sing.
She can really
Just
sing.
another one. I still have the advance of that album somewhere.
Me too.
Yeah, I still.
Let me just ask you a quick question, then we'll go. All right. So, how many more remixes of Old Town Road is Little Nas X going to put out?
Well, how many more remixes of Jennifer Lopez Medicine am I going to get in my box? Because every time I fucking open up an email box, they're like, it's the Metro City remix. I'm like, you're really trying to get this motherfucker to #1 at dance. I've got the 838th remix of it.
I remember years ago going to see, I mean, it's obviously years ago.
And
going
here's
to
the thing with Lil Nas X. This little EP and song might be it. So get as much of it as you can.
I
right
just
now.
remember seeing Montel Jordan a million trillion years ago, and
Yeah.
his entire set consisted of "This is how we do it," and then another song, and then "This is how we do it." And then this is how we do it. And then I remember seeing Rex in Effect, and their entire set was
Rum Shaker.
Rum Shaker, and then another song, and then Rum Shaker. Now the remix.
Right.
So bless his heart, Little Nas X. He's just gonna, bless his heart.
Listen, I hope for him that this, and I think the EP is actually done all right for him.
Yeah.
And I think it was like number one, and then after kind of.
Well, I mean, I think
two,
what happened with him is he put out a single. They had no idea it was going to do what it did, and they said, "Oh shit, now we got to get an album."
Yeah. And they made it. They got an EP out there, and I like the fact that he came out and he said he's gay. I'm like, listen, for all of these kids and all of these young kids of color and young queer kids, for me, I'm like, keep going, man.
Yeah, it's fine.
Grab it. Just be
he's
excellent.
He's not. I mean, look.
My thing is just be excellent. But it's hard to say because I'm in my 50s, right? So it's hard for me to say ignore all of the comments because I see them. They're really obsessed about who's saying what and what and what. Be excellent. Hone your craft. And I know you're working on a full-length album. Put everything you got into that so that you don't come off as a one hit wonder.
He seems like a sweet kid. Not for nothing. Seems like a nice kid. I think we know it. I think his craft is pretty much this song.
Well, we'll see, right? Because there are a lot of people.
This is not the second coming of
Well,
Nas.
let's see. Because after Bodak Yellow, did anybody think that Cardi B would be the thing? Think about this.
Bodak Yellow was
such a big.
No, but I'm saying Bodak Yellow was the message compared to Old Town Road.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, you make the association of love and hip hop and all of that stuff. Yeah. I don't think anybody could predict
not at all.
that she would suddenly, that would catapult her to another level.
But he seems, and I'm glad, and I will say the kids love him.
They do.
They do love him. I think he's a positive role model.
Right.
And the fact that he was gay was like, duh.
Right.
But
I didn't even pay attention to that shit. It was so funny that the kids still make the announcement, and I was just like, oh. And I saw some kids being like, oh, not even giving a shit.
No, they don't care. Kids, I will say the one thing about the current, they don't care. It doesn't even factor into
which is amazing. That shows you
that's great.
That each fight,
they're just
each
like,
generation's fight.
Is the music good? That's all they care about.
Right.
Is the music good?
Right.
Like, they don't care that, they don't care. They're just like, are you good?
Which is how it should be.
Is it hot? Does it look good? I don't give a damn. Who's Miley Cyrus?
Right.
That's Billy Ray Cyrus. That's Miley's dad. Who's Miley? Oh, well. All right. Should we go now? Because we're in the Bronx and we may have to leave before they shut the trains down.
Or Jennifer Lopez shows up to shoot a music video right outside the house that we're at. Like, I'm really returning.
I know.
Like, do you remember? And I know you guys are like, what the fuck is with your obsession with her? But we are in the Bronx. And I will just say this before we go. I remember when she was shooting the Jenny from the Block video in Beverly Hills. And with that, all I'm going to say is, thank you for listening to another episode of
And
I'ma Let You Finish.
We did talk over each other.
And we did it.
I'm so proud of ourselves. Bye.
I'm Black Oprah. That was Amy. And we'll see you on the next time.
Bye.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package, with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.